CTV News with Caroline Van Vlartigan.
Good afternoon. Changes are coming to some school zones in Rosemont-la-Petite-Patrie. The borough wants to make them safer for children by reducing the number of cars on some of its streets. Angela Mackenzie reports.
Here in Rosemont-la-Petite-Patrie, there are plans in the works to make streets safer near schools. Borough Mayor François Limoges says the key is to have fewer cars on certain residential streets like Dandurand.
Dandurand, there's 3 schools, many daycare centers, and a few parks. And there's 4,300 cars a day. It's way too much for the nature of the street.
The borough plans to start with 3 school zones this year that include 5 elementary schools. It will reconfigure several nearby streets. Some will become one-way, including Dandurand, which will change direction multiple times.
You can go home, you can go to school, you can go to your local business, there's no problem. But you won't be able to use the street to cross the entire neighborhood.
Some streets that are already one-way will now send cars in the opposite direction, such as Henri Julienne in Little Italy between Mozart and Bellechasse. Montreal boroughs began increasing safety measures near schools in the years following the death of Maria Lehenkowska. The 7-year-old girl was struck and killed by a driver on her way to school in 2022 in the Ville-Marie borough. Limoges says his borough has already reduced speed limits and has added speed bumps. He believes reconfiguring streets is the next logical step. For some residents, the change is welcome.
This district, there's a daycare right here, so it's going to be safer for the daycare.
Je pense que c'est toujours bien qu'il y ait moins d'autos autour des écoles.
It's always good when there are fewer cars near schools, says this woman. But Limoges admits the plan will also have critics, who will call this another move by boroughs run by Projet Montréal to get rid of cars.
We're not anti-cars. We just don't want the cars to cut through the entire neighborhood to get a shortcut.
Meantime, the borough plans to make similar changes to its other school zones over the next 3 years. Angela Mackenzie, CTV News.
A Joliet-based trucking company is offering a $50,000 reward to anyone who can help them recover a trailer that was stolen this weekend carrying a valuable load of aluminum. The thieves broke into the yard of a truck terminal in South Shore Delson belonging to Express Mont d'Or, which specializes in oversized loads. They quickly found the one carrying the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of aluminum. The GPS tracker was disabled by the thieves, and while the missing truck was found later that day, the trailer and its merchandise have disappeared. The company says it's offering the reward because theft of metals has significantly increased in recent years.
Well, you know, they're organized. They've been around for a while. It's been a problem in the industry, especially since the price of those metals have skyrocketed in the past, I would say, year. So they're billets. They're aluminum billets, and they are sold to scrap metal yards, and then they are transformed in order to lose all identification, and then they're sold at large.
The Commissioner of the French language tabled his report today, and it shows that French continues to be in decline in Quebec. And Sweden, he says most of his recommendations to reverse that have been ignored.
Caroline, out of the 31 recommendations, only 5 of them have been fully implemented and 14 have been partially implemented, which means more than half have been ignored. Now, Commissioner Benoit Dubreuil said the government didn't follow through on measures that could have strengthened the use of the French language in daily life. Dubreuil pointed to 3 main forces driving the decline: economic integration, immigration patterns, and cultural influences pulling young Quebecers toward English media and social circles. Here's what he had to say.
So I don't want to be overly critical of the work that has been done. I think we have contributed to starting a paradigm shift, and we are definitely going to keep pushing in this direction. But what we hope from the next government is kind of a vision that will be supported by whole of government, where the Ministère de la Langue Française, for instance, will not be alone, perceived as the only department that is actually responsible for promoting the use of French as a common language.
One of his recommendations is increasing financial aid to immigrants and newcomers taking part in French language courses. I'll have more details for you at 6. Caroline.
All right, thanks very much, Sweeta, reporting live from Quebec City. Well, Premier Christine Frechette is calling her meeting with the U.S. Ambassador Pete Hoekstra positive. The two met this morning to discuss the ongoing trade dispute between Canada and the U.S. And Frechette says Quebec needs a framework that is stable and predictable.
Merchandise that are part of the CUSMA are protected by the CUSMA agreement, won't be tariffed. But my message was that we need to lower the tariffs.
And Frechette also met with Alberta's Premier. Danielle Smith says she is in Quebec to demonstrate the strength of a united Canada while fighting for more provincial autonomy. The two premiers also talked about increasing economic ties, such as building an east-west energy corridor.
I'm here to show all Albertans, especially those who feel otherwise, that Canada can work for all of us, and that is why I'm here today. I am here to build new linkages as our two provinces, Alberta and Quebec, Queberta, I guess we're calling it, truly model the ideals our country was built on. In Canada, we chose the decentralized federation model composed of unique and diverse provinces left to govern themselves.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff's 50th anniversary gift event. Get a complete second pair and sunglasses as a gift.
And Lauren, it is a Goldilocks day, not too cold, not too hot, just perfect.
Well, it's about to get a lot hotter tomorrow, so hopefully you'll enjoy that along with the sunshine. And that's because come Sunday, so basically after Thursday, we're dealing with cloud coverage and even more rain. So Sunday is the only next day that we can look forward to after tomorrow that will be nice and sunny. So that aside, let's talk about what else we're forecasting. Right now, we're sitting at 29 degrees. That looks like it's going to be today's daytime high and not much humidity to speak of. Now, a reminder, we would typically be at 22 degrees. So certainly seeing that trend of warmer than seasonal temperatures continue. Clear skies overnight, and it's going to be a little bit warmer. We're looking at a low of 15 degrees, so it's a good opportunity to maybe have a fan going or turn on that air conditioner if you feel like it. Tomorrow we start the day off with mostly sunny skies. We're calling for a mix of sun and clouds into the afternoon. Once again, we will see a high tomorrow of 29, but the humidex is going to make it feel like 32 degrees. On Friday, we're calling for cloudy skies, a high of 28, and in the evening, 2 millimeters of rain, and that's ahead of Saturday, where we can see an additional 15 millimeters of rain and a dip in our temperatures to a seasonal 22 degrees. Our longer range forecast shows that the rest of the weekend, well, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, and come Monday, more sunshine, and we're back to warmer than seasonal temperatures with a high of 26 degrees.
Thank you, Lauren. Still to come, why the REM expansion to the West Island is making it harder for some people to get to work on time. And it's a smash hit. Tennis continues to attract more and more players in the province. Welcome back. A community is still trying to come to terms with the death of a 3-year-old girl over the weekend. She died after the inflatable structure that she was in was tossed into the air by strong winds. And her death has raised concerns about the structures and the rules governing them. Matt Gilmore has more.
There's a growing memorial of stuffed toys and flowers here at Willette Park. Community members and people who were here on Sunday have been coming throughout the day to pay their respect to 3-year-old Ava Ciampini. Some of the people we spoke to off camera say they're still traumatized by what they witnessed over the weekend. This is a tight-knit community, and many have been coming to this annual event for years. They say the 50-kilometer-an-hour winds came up out of nowhere, sweeping the bouncy castle into the air and blowing over tents and barricades. They say people were just starting to pack up to leave because they could see a storm coming from the distance, but it was still blue skies overhead when the wind gusts hit. Now their thoughts have turned to little Ava's family. A GoFundMe has already raised more than $350,000. CTV News reached out to the organizer of the fundraiser, but did not hear back. We've also received a statement from the church that organized Sunday's event. It reads in part, "I invite all the faithful to join our hearts in prayer for the little girl Eva Ciampini. May she rest in peace. We are deeply saddened by the news of the passing of this 3-year-old girl. Our thoughts go out to her parents and grandparents in this time of grief. We pray for the little Eva Ciampini. Rest in peace. She is an angel." The accident has also raised questions about whether these inflatable play structures should be better regulated. The body that oversees construction says they're currently exempt from the building code. We spoke to another inflatables company that was not involved in the accident on Sunday, who told us the industry standard is to use 42 or 48-inch long spikes to secure inflatable structures to the ground and to deflate them when winds are above 25 kilometers per hour. But he says there are no rules enforcing those standards, and he says it's time for tougher rules.
Some sort of guidelines should be put in place so that it standardizes the industry. You know, if you want to operate inflatable games, you must follow certain guidelines, and you know, the minimum should be put in place, that's for sure.
There is a coroner's investigation underway into the circumstances that led to this tragic accident. We still don't have any details about the kind of inflatable structure that was used or how it was strapped down. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Montreal police are urging families to check if the resting places of loved ones have been robbed. It comes after 2 people were charged with robbing multiple funeral homes and cemeteries in Montreal, Laval, and elsewhere. Police say Andre Gustave and Christina Lubunakis broke into niches for columbarians to steal jewelry and other items left with the ashes of the deceased. People are being urged to check on resting places and then give police exact details about what was stolen and from where. A Pointe Claire woman says she's lost the early morning bus she relied on for years. The STM admits it made a mistake, but says a fix won't come anytime soon. Laurence Buisson-Dubreuil has more.
Janor has had the same morning routine for more than 25 years. The daycare educator walks 60 meters from her home to the 211 bus heading east so she can arrive at her job downtown for 7 a.m. That was until May 18th.
Now with the REM changes, they took away the 540 bus.
Nearly 80 routes were modified when the REM launched in May. The 5:40 a.m. bus she relied on disappeared. The earliest bus is now almost an hour later.
Since May 18th, that's when they started all the new bus schedules in the West Island.
Now Orr's husband drives her each morning to a different bus stop about 1.5 kilometers away so she can catch the 411 Express. For Orr, the service no longer matches the price of a monthly transit pass.
It's going up to $110 now, starting July. The whole point of having a bus pass is to be able to access public transportation.
Orr brought her concerns to the transit agency. In its response, it acknowledged a problem. It writes that insufficient attention was given to maintaining the service span of the current Line 211.
Basically, they admit that they messed up, but nothing's going to be done before January.
In a statement to CTV News, an STM spokesperson says the changes were made based on the needs of residents within the agency's financial capacity, adding the line could be adjusted as it continues to assess the network changes. That offers little comfort for Orr. She says what used to be a short walk to the bus stop has become a daily headache. Laurence Buisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
Looking across the country, the federal government plans to introduce legislation on forced labor. It comes after Donald Trump is imposing a new tariff on dozens of countries, including Canada, with a claim they're not doing enough to stop the practice. Canada's point man on the trade relationships with the U.S. says he had a positive meeting in Washington, D.C. with his American counterpart. Dominic LeBlanc says he talked tariffs and his call for a 16-year extension on CUSMA. And Ottawa is endorsing a plan to move Marineland's whales to the United States and Spain. 30 belugas and 4 dolphins will be moved now that the Department of Fisheries and Oceans has issued permits. And we'll have more national news on CTV News at 5:30. Coming up, it's a brand new reason to watch for the road and watch out for thieves. Well, even though he experienced a devastating loss at the French Open today, Canadian tennis stars like Félix Auger-Aliassime are helping grow the sport's popularity. New data suggests tennis is hitting peak heights here in Quebec. Here's Olivia O'Malley.
The outdoor tennis season is underway, and more Quebecers are picking up their rackets than ever before. This is the first time Pierre Bazinet played in 5 years.
We have an office close by, and it was a discussion that we had last year. Oh, there's plenty of tennis court over there, we should play.
According to new data from Tennis Canada, participation across the country is on the rise. 6 million Canadians hit the courts last year, an increase of over 1 million since 2023. Quebec is the province with the highest participation. 18% of Quebecers played tennis last year.
We have some great athletes that are from Quebec that are performing really well on the international scene. So I think that does help maybe inspire some kids and even older people to want to pick up a racket.
National Bank Open Tournament Director Valérie Tétrault is having a hit at IGA Stadium's center court. This is where the prestigious competition is held in August. The men play here this year, but 1 year ago, a sold-out crowd of 12,000 fans watched a star be born. 18-year-old Canadian Vicky Mboko was crowned the women's singles champion.
During those 2 weeks during the summer, everyone all of a sudden is interested by tennis.
Tennis Canada says the sport has grown in popularity with children aged 12 to 17. Registration is up for its own programs.
It brings more accessible equipment for kids to learn the sport. And with the type of rackets we have and the balls that you can learn with, you can be playing tennis in 5 or 10 minutes. It really is that easy.
It's known as a summer game, but Tennis Canada says it's aiming to make it more accessible in the winter.
Some of our focus right now is going to infrastructure, make sure that we can basically, maybe by adding some bubbles, just create more opportunities to play tennis year-round.
Especially as 41% of Quebecers say they are likely to play a match in the coming year. Olivia O'Malley, CTV News.
Turning to international news now, at least one person was killed in Kuwait when Iran fired missiles at its main airport. Meanwhile, Bahrain says it intercepted 3 missiles and several drones. Ukraine's long-range drones attacked Russian warships and an old terminal in St. Petersburg. That city is more than 1,000 kilometers away from Ukraine and comes as Vladimir Putin was hosting foreign investors in that city. And a woman in Brazil was badly hurt when she fell down a manhole and got stuck inside. Thieves had been down the hole earlier to steal cables and didn't put the cover back properly. We'll have more international news on CTV News at 5:30. And still to come, how one young woman is spreading the word about ALS education. June is ALS Awareness Month, and the ALS Society of Quebec says it remains a fatal disease. They say it can take away one's ability to walk, speak, and breathe. They also say 8 in 10 people die within 5 years of diagnosis, and roughly 4,000 Canadians are affected, including 600 people here in Quebec. Amanda Tam has been living with ALS for nearly 5 years since being diagnosed at 20 years of age.
Things that people don't think about affect me, so I can't get changed on my own. I can't cut up my food, so things like that. But honestly, I feel like I've been living more since my diagnosis, so I've traveled way more. I feel like a lot of young people don't really know what it is besides the Ice Bucket Challenge. So I just want to share what it actually is.
And the ALS Society of Quebec says roughly 1,000 new cases of it are diagnosed in Canada each year. Well, Quebecers who signed up for a claim in a successful class action lawsuit against bread price fixing should be receiving payments soon. A settlement was reached almost 2 years ago for $500 million from Loblaw and George Weston Limited. Claimants had until last December to be registered for a payment, and over 1 million Quebecers signed up, and many should be receiving an amount of $42.50 this week.
So the checks are now coming in, but perhaps more precisely, the Interact e-transfers are coming in as well. There's been more than 1.3 million Quebecers who filed claims that were approved, the vast majority of which are being sent by Interact e-transfer. Those will be going out this week. For those that opted to receive the payment via check, those are also going out this week, but will take a little longer to be fully mailed out.
And Zucrin says claimants will receive 2 emails telling them how to claim their funds. He also warns consumers to ignore any texts regarding payment, as those will not be legitimate. And Lauren, the warmer weather is on its way?
That's right. It'll be hot and humid tomorrow. Lots of sunshine in the forecast, so you better enjoy it, because it looks like Friday's going to be cloudy, a little bit of rain. Saturday definitely going to be dealing with rain. So this is what we're forecasting overnight. It's going to be a little bit of a warmer evening, 15 degrees with clear skies. You typically be around 11 overnight. We start tomorrow off at 17, so we can already see that mercury is climbing straight away on Thursday morning, and it'll hit 29 degrees, feeling like 32, with a mix of sun and clouds. In the afternoon, we could see some extra peaks of sunshine as well later in the day. We're also dealing with southwesterly winds gusting up to 40 kilometers an hour. I always like to say that if you close your eyes, it's like you're on a tropical vacation. And if we look at our longer range forecast, this is what I was hinting at earlier. Cloudy on Friday, 2 millimeters of rain in the afternoon, and 28 degrees will be the high there. We see our temperatures dip on Saturday along with 15 millimeters of rain. But if we fast forward to Monday, sunshine is back in the forecast and warmer than seasonal temperatures with 26 degrees.
Thanks, Lauren. And that is it for us. Maya will be here at 6 o'clock with more details about the young girl who died following an accident with an inflatable castle, plus why the French language is always on the decline in Quebec. Now here's Amanda Lang with your CTV National News. Have a good evening.